Okay. Are we live? Okay, so I am going to get started. I think we're live. Sorry, we're a little late. I had a little bit of technical difficulties. But we are live and we're ready to go. So today I'm going to be talking about some videography tips for you guys if you want to do your own little walkthrough, if a property is vacant, anything like that. The tips are pretty similar to your photography tips. Very simple. I'd suggest holding, your phone like this when you're walking through the house. You're going to get most of the room, very similar to the photography as well. Open up the shades, let in as much light as possible. Natural light is the best to use. Balance out the light as well. A lot of the photography tips are going to carry over to videography. When you're walking through the house, obviously try to hold the camera as steady as possible. If you're holding the camera out like this, it's hard to hold your hand steady. So I'd actually suggest holding it closer to your body and walk nice and slow through the house. Small steps, nice and slowly through the house. That's also going to make sure you take your time walking through. Do your best to speak loudly and clearly. You can also silently walk through the house later on. You can take out the sound and you can do a voiceover. So I'm not sure how the Androids work, but iPhones allow you to do a voice recording. They have an app in there where you can literally record, sit down literally just right here, record, watch the video, talk into your phone, and then you can save that file, upload it to your computer, and you can put that voiceover over the video of you walking through. That might be a way to ensure that you can hear yourself clearly over the video. So those are just my basic tips. For video editing, I personally use iMovie. It comes free with a Mac. I know a lot of you have Macs, some of you don't. So I looked up some video editing software that if you don't have a Mac, you could use. I found that Blender seemed to be the most popular option. It's free. It's blender.org. Personally, I have not used Blender, so I can't speak to it, but if you're willing to give it a try. There's also Adobe Premiere Pro that's super advanced. I've used it. It costs money. If you want to get super into video, you can give it a try. Again, it's super advanced. I also reached out to Aldo. Thank you, Aldo, for your feedback. He's obviously very good at video. He uses something called Movavi Video Editor 15 Plus. That does cost money. He said it wasn't too expensive and it's definitely worth it. He says he likes using it and it's very easy to use and you'd catch on really quickly. So thank you, Aldo, for that. And these are all in the handout and I can send you the links to them as well if you're interested in downloading any of those. For now, I feel like the best way to see video tips and editing tips is for me to just take you in and show you how I would edit, just quick edit a video. So I'm actually going to use one from Peter Pirani. Recently did a walkthrough of a vacant property and sent the files over to me that I did a video for him. So I'm going to just share my screen with you. And I think this is working. Let's just double check. Okay, so I'm going to open up iMovie here. Now, we'll let this catch up. I'm going to open up. So The first step, this is called iMovie, and the first step is obviously to import your media, which is your video files, any photo files. You can add video and photo files to this. So if you wanted to play a voiceover or music over photos as a video walkthrough, you can do that as well. So we're going to import this media. And I have it saved here. I put all the media I needed in a folder, and I'm just gonna select all of these and import them. And now they're all right here. Actually, I think I did that wrong. So this was Peter's original walkthrough, and I just wanted to show you all the difference between holding your camera, portrait versus landscape. So Peter's original videos were held portrait, and I'm just going to drag this down. This is the first step in adding video. You drag it down to this editing area. And you can see this black space on the side, and you're not getting as much as, the yard, the driveway on each side. And then, compared to this is when Peter went back and held the phone landscape, and look at how much more you're getting of the house when Peter went back. So that's the difference between holding, the phone landscape versus portrait. So I'm going to go ahead and just select this clip and delete it because we don't want to use that clip, and we're going to use these clips. So the next video we want to use in the clip is this, and I'm just going to drag it down right here. So now we have 2 videos in the clip, and I actually created these slides for Peter for branding purposes. So this would be, the beginning slide. I'm going to drag this. It doesn't matter the order that you drag things down. You can always change the order and drag them around. So we're going to open with this, and then it's going to go right into Peter's walkthrough. So Peter did a great job of holding the camera nice and steady and talking nice and clear and slowly. But let's just say that, we wanted to trim parts of this clip out. At the beginning, he's a little bit shaky with the camera before he got started and started walking. So if we wanted to trim the first few seconds out of this before Peter started speaking, I would select where we wanted to trim up to. And you're going to see this yellow line appear where I click and select. You can right click, and then you can just press trim to playhead. And that's just going to trim it out. And this is Peter walking. If you want to preview what you've done,
hi, this is a new listing that we're putting on. It's a 2-family house, 534 Washington Street in Winchester. So it's 2 units.
Preview.
The first floor is occupied right
Just
now.
making sure we're still live. So you can preview what you've done. If you want to add, let's say we want to maybe only use half of this clip, we're going to select this. We're going to right click, and we're going to split the clip. Let's say we want to get rid of this. We just select it and press delete. And now we've deleted the rest of that clip. So really this line is where you're editing. Let's say we want to maybe add a transition, so it's not just going straight into the next clip. We're going to go up to our menu here. We click on transitions, and we can add any of these. I usually just use the fades, so I'm going to just use fade to black. And again, you drag it down just like the media, and now it's going to fade into the next clip instead. Again, we can use our preview to just preview the work. Next, if you wanted to add text to a video, let's say, your name, your contact info, or even just notes about the house in general, you can go up here to your menu to titles. You can add any of these, drag it down. You're going to drag it on top. You can double click to edit the text. Type up here. I'm just going to put my name. You can change the text here. You can edit, where it's placed. the size, any of that, you can edit. If you want to know, we're ready to add our last slide in there. Peter's info, drag it down. And the last thing to do would be to export this. So I'm going to select all, and you can do that by pressing Command A. And then I'm going to go up to this little button right here. And we're going to export the file. I already have it named. You can name it whatever you want to. Press next. And then I usually just save it to my desktop and you press save. And that's about it. If anybody has any questions, my info is on the bottom of the sheet. You can reach out to me for editing help and anything like that, any video tips. I hope this helped. Thanks, everyone.